At the edge of the world, where silence reigns and the air itself seems to hold its breath, there lies a realm older than memory. Alaska, the last frontier of the North, a land carved by time, sculpted by storms, and frozen in myth. They call it the place where the earth breathes cold. Here, mountains pierce the clouds, their crowns buried in endless snow. Rivers twist through valleys that the sun barely touches. And somewhere beyond the horizon, hidden from most eyes, the glaciers sleep. We came to find them, to see what remains of the frozen giants that once ruled this land. Because these glaciers, vast, silent, magnificent, are not just frozen rivers. They are time itself, flowing through stone and ice. The journey begins where the roads end, a white wilderness stretching farther than the eye can see. No towns, no power lines. No sound except wind, water, and our own breath. Every direction looks the same, yet every step feels like crossing into another age. For centuries, explorers have been drawn here, lured by that same whisper of the North, a call that says, "Come and see what still remains untamed." And though maps may mark Alaska as part of our world, standing here, surrounded by endless ice and sky, you begin to wonder if perhaps we belong to it instead. The temperature drops. The wind hardens. Ahead, a valley opens like a gateway to another dimension. Between its cliffs, the first glacier reveals itself. A river of frozen light, its surface cracked and creaking like ancient armor. We step closer. Every gust carries flakes of powdered diamond. Every echo feels alive. And somewhere beneath our feet, ice from 1,000 years ago still whispers the story of Earth's long winter. This is the heartbeat of the cryosphere, a frozen system that regulates the temperature of the entire planet. What happens here, at the edge of Alaska, will ripple through oceans, forests, and cities far to the south. But for now, standing in the vast silence of this frozen kingdom, science fades and wonder takes its place. The glacier hums beneath the wind, a slow, deep pulse, like the earth breathing through ice. And as the first light of the Arctic sun spills across its blue surface, we begin our descent into the heart of Alaska's hidden world. Pause.
Long before the first footsteps echoed on this land, before wolves hunted the tundra or eagles soared above the peaks, Alaska was born from chaos. A place where fire met ice, and both refused to yield. Beneath these mountains lies a restless heart. Tectonic plates grind together like titans locked in eternal struggle, pushing the land upward, fold by fold, into jagged ranges that scrape the sky. The Pacific Plate dives beneath the North American, melting rock into rivers of magma that rise through the crust, forging volcanoes that once painted the horizon in crimson fire. And then came the ice. A cold so vast it swallowed continents. An age when glaciers swept across the land like living oceans, grinding stone to powder, sculpting valleys and carving fjords that now cradle the sea. Look closer, and you can still see the story written in the rock. Striations etched by ancient ice. Frozen rivers frozen twice over, in memory and time. To the scientist, these marks tell the truth of a planet in motion. To the traveler, they whisper something deeper, that creation is never gentle. That beauty here was born from violence. We trek across a ridge of dark basalt, the remnant of an ancient eruption that once turned the sky to ash. Beneath our boots, we can feel the ground pulse, a reminder that the fire has not died, only sleeps. Far to the west, Mount Redoubt looms, its snow-covered peak hiding a fury that still simmers below. Every so often, it exhales steam, a white plume rising like a ghost against the twilight. This is Alaska's paradox. A land forged in flame, preserved in ice, where opposites collide and yet somehow coexist. The ice caps and volcanoes form a delicate balance. Heat feeds the clouds, clouds feed the snow, and the snow feeds the glaciers that creep ever downward. Each layer of ice traps a moment in time. Ancient air, volcanic ash, even traces of cosmic dust. To study a glacier here is to read the diary of the Earth. Every meter of depth reveals another chapter, a frozen archive stretching back tens of thousands of years. And yet, standing before it all, you realize the Earth is not finished writing. The mountains still rise, The glaciers still move. The fire still waits beneath. We are travelers on a living planet. A world that breathes, shifts, and dreams in cycles far older than us.
As we move deeper into Alaska's frozen wilderness, the path narrows, and the landscape begins to change again. Ahead lies a place few have ever seen. A gateway where the great glaciers begin their descent, spilling like frozen rivers into the unknown. And so we follow, drawn by the same ancient forces that shape this land, to the edge where ice becomes motion, and the adventure truly begins. Pause. We step closer to the giants. The rivers of ancient ice that have flowed for millennia, shaping mountains, carving valleys, and moving silently toward the sea. From above, glaciers seem frozen, eternal. But beneath their bright blue surfaces, a restless power surges. Ice flows like a river, slowly but relentlessly, weaving through the landscape with patient force. Each glacier has its own personality. Some are calm, flat expanses, deceptively serene. Others are violent, fractured, alive. Deep crevasses forming overnight. Ice seracs collapsing without warning. Glaciers are far more than frozen water. They are dynamic systems, moving under their own weight, carving rock beneath and reshaping the land around them. A single mile of ice may weigh billions of tons, yet it flows slowly, silently, shaping the earth as it goes. We trek across a narrow ridge to witness a glacier's terminus, the point where ice meets water. Here, enormous chunks break off, crashing into turquoise lakes with a sound that shakes the soul. A reminder that this frozen river is alive. The air smells of ozone and mineral-rich water. Each gust carries the sharp tang of ice and stone. Every step is measured. One false move and a hidden crevasse. Fish, bears, forests, and human communities alike. And then we climb, higher, onto the glacier itself. Boots sink into powdery snow, crampons biting through compacted ice. The surface undulates like waves frozen mid-crash. Seracs tower like frozen skyscrapers, casting long shadows across the endless white. We are small here, insignificant, yet intimately connected. Every glacier carries the memory of centuries,
the weight of climate cycles, and the proof that Earth is constantly in motion. A crevasse opens before us, a yawning chasm of deep blue, so pure it almost glows from within. It's both beautiful and terrifying, a natural monument to the glacier's hidden power. We trace the glacier's veins, exploring its hidden channels and frozen tributaries, learning to read the subtle signs, cracks, ridges, snow patterns that hint at the glacier's mood, its speed, its secret movements.
It's a living world underfoot, where the ice flows slowly but surely toward the ocean. We realize that glaciers are more than landscapes. They are gateways to understanding Earth itself. Beyond the known glaciers lie countless unnamed rivers of ice, waiting in hidden valleys for those brave enough to seek them. Here, adventure and discovery merge. The thrill of the unknown, the humbling truth of nature's scale, and the quiet reminder that the world is larger, older, and wilder than we often imagine. Pause.
Beyond the surface of the glaciers lies a world almost no one sees, a secret realm of ice, blue and translucent, stretching deep into the heart of the frozen giants. Stepping into an ice cave is like entering another planet. Light bends through the walls, scattering into shades of sapphire, turquoise, and silver. Every surface glimmers, as if the glacier itself were breathing light. These caverns are alive. Water seeps through cracks, carving tunnels over centuries. The sound is hypnotic, a constant drip, a low groan, and the occasional thunder of collapsing ice. We move carefully, aware that beneath our feet lies centuries of frozen memory. Glacial caves are more than aesthetic marvels. They reveal the glacier's internal structure, layers of compressed snow, pockets of ancient air, and even traces of volcanic ash from eruptions long past. Studying these formations helps us understand climate patterns, ice flow dynamics, and the story of our planet written in crystal. Some tunnels are narrow, forcing us to crawl. Others open into cathedrals of ice, where frozen stalactites hang like crystal chandeliers. Here, the air is impossibly still, and the silence presses against you, almost tangible. Touch the walls, and you touch time itself. The ice here is ancient, older than the oldest human civilizations.
Every crystal tells a story of storms, of seasons, of a world constantly in motion. We follow a stream of meltwater winding through the tunnels, its clear waters flowing like veins through the glacier's body. The sound of that water, beneath layers of ancient ice, is the glacier's pulse, a living heartbeat echoing in the dark. Moving further, we find chambers where the ice glows electric blue, so vivid it feels otherworldly. It's easy to forget the surface, the mountains, the wind, the cold. Because down here, the glacier is everything. Vast, powerful, utterly silent. But every corner hides
Glaciers are alive. Not in the sense that they breathe or think, but in the way they move, grow, and reshape everything around them. They advance and retreat, carving valleys, grinding stone, and leaving behind rivers of life. Every crack, every crevasse, every deep blue fissure is part of a silent dance, a choreography written in ice and time. To stand on a glacier is to feel the weight of history beneath your boots. Some of these rivers of ice are advancing, slowly pressing forward with relentless force. Others are retreating, melting into lakes that ripple with turquoise light, giving a final gift to the world before they disappear forever. And yet, in their movement, there is creation. Meltwater flows down to nourish forests, plains, and rivers. Salmon trace these icy streams, traveling hundreds of miles to spawn, while bears wait patiently along the banks, claws ready, eyes sharp. Eagles glide overhead, scanning for the life the glacier sustains. This is the glacier's true dance, life born from ice. An intricate web of survival spun across stone and snow. Glaciers act as freshwater reservoirs. They store billions of tons of water, releasing it slowly over seasons, regulating rivers and supporting ecosystems far beyond their frozen edge. Without them, life in these valleys would be starkly different. And then comes the drama, the calving. Massive chunks of ice break away from the glacier's edge, plummeting into lakes or the ocean with a thunderous crash. Water explodes upward, mist rises, and the sound echoes across the valley. Standing there, we are reminded of nature's power and unpredictability. This is life and death in slow motion, a reminder that the glacier is both giver and taker. As we move along its edge, we trace these frozen rivers, like explorers mapping an unknown world. Every fissure, every ridge, tells a story of centuries,
Storms weathered, snowfalls endured, ice pressed into shape by forces beyond human comprehension. And beneath it all, the ecosystem thrives. Tiny mosses cling to exposed rock. Birds nest along ice cliffs. And
Alaska is not only the realm of ice and stone, it is also the home of people whose lives have been intertwined with glaciers for centuries. Indigenous communities have read this frozen landscape like a living map. They know the glacier's moods, the sounds of approaching storms, and the subtle changes in snow and ice. To them, glaciers are not inanimate. They're spirits, guardians, and teachers. For generations, hunters, fishers, and travelers have relied on these frozen rivers. They follow the salmon through meltwater streams, track caribou across tundra, and navigate the ice with skill born of intimate understanding. Every step is a lesson, passed down through countless winters. They speak of glaciers as elders, ancient beings who carry memory, wisdom, and even warnings. Stories tell of ice that moves like a living being, of hidden crevasses that appear suddenly, and of storms that descend without notice, reshaping the land and life alike. Yet in the modern world, explorers arrive from far beyond Alaska. Scientists, adventurers, filmmakers, drawn by the glacier's silent allure. They bring cameras, drones, and instruments, chasing knowledge while standing in awe of nature's raw grandeur. We join them here, stepping into a world both familiar and unknown. With each climb, each observation, each careful measurement, we uncover secrets the glaciers have kept for millennia. The collaboration between human curiosity and nature's immensity is profound. Elders share oral histories. Scientists share data. Together, they reveal a story of survival, adaptation, and respect. An understanding that glaciers are not merely obstacles or resources, but living forces that shape communities, ecosystems, and the planet itself.
And yet, despite our tools and knowledge, the glaciers remain mysterious. They move in silence, sculpt landscapes with patient force, and remind us that human life is fleeting in comparison to the slow rhythm of ice. For the adventurer, the explorer, the dreamer, in Alaska, the weather is never gentle. It tests every traveler, every explorer, every living thing that dares to exist here. Storms sweep across glaciers with relentless fury, driven by winds that pierce the body and chill the soul. The sky darkens in an instant, and snowflakes become blades of ice, erasing footprints, shifting landscapes, reminding us that we are not in control. Yet it is these storms that sculpt the land, shaping mountains, carving valleys, feeding the glaciers below. Each gust carries with it particles of stone and snow, and the frozen world responds, bending, cracking, yielding, in slow, inexorable motion. To witness a storm here is to feel the raw heartbeat of the earth. It is chaos and beauty intertwined. A reminder that Alaska is not a place of comfort, but a realm of extremes, where survival depends on respect, skill, and courage. We press forward along the glacier, navigating treacherous crevasses. The storm obscures paths, hides dangers, tests endurance. Every decision matters. A misplaced step could mean disaster. Yet each successful crossing reveals the glacier's hidden artistry, cracks illuminated by fleeting sunlight, ice cliffs shimmering beneath the storm clouds. This is the life of explorers in the Arctic. Not just observing nature, but surviving it. Each moment is a negotiation with forces far greater than ourselves. And yet, there is exhilaration in that struggle. Storms remind us, we are alive. Amid the fury, wildlife persists. Snow foxes weave through the drifts, their fur vanishing into white. Birds huddle in the cracks of stone, waiting for a moment of calm to take flight.
Life, in its relentless determination, finds a way, even in the harshest cold. Storms accelerate glacial movement, trigger avalanches, awaken the ice. They are essential, shaping landscapes, spreading life, renewing the frozen earth. Though dangerous, they are vital to the glacier's rhythm, nature's own way of breathing and becoming. As night falls, the storm begins to fade.
The glacier glows softly beneath the snow. Cliffs shimmer with frost. And the silence that follows is profound, almost sacred. We set up camp, weary but alive. The storm has tested us, reshaped the land, and marked our spirits. Here, at the edge of Arctic fury, we understand. Survival is not a battle against nature, but a dialogue with it. Listening, respecting, moving in rhythm with its pulse. And as we drift into the frozen night, we carry with us the knowing that Alaska's glaciers live not only in their ice, but in the storms that sweep across them. Fierce, untamed, and breathtakingly beautiful. Alaska's glaciers are magnificent, eternal in appearance. Yet even these giants are vulnerable. The frozen rivers that have persisted for thousands of years are now retreating, shrinking under the influence of a warming world. Each glacier carries a memory, a record of ice ages, storms, and volcanic eruptions. And now they are recording a new story, one of change, accelerated by rising temperatures. What was once steady is now unpredictable. Crevasses open wider, meltwater flows faster, and ice calves more violently than ever before. The vanishing blue of glaciers is not just a visual loss. It has consequences that ripple far beyond Alaska. Glacial melt contributes to rising seas, altering coastlines across the globe. Freshwater systems shift. Ecosystems falter. And human communities downstream face challenges unlike any before. As we follow the edge of a retreating glacier, the scale of change becomes painfully clear. Once solid ice cliffs now lie in jagged ruin. What was once a continuous river of ice now exists in fragments. Isolated pools of turquoise meltwater reflecting the sky where ice once reigned. The glacier's blue, that pure, luminous hue born of centuries of compression, is fading. Each shade lost is a reminder of the delicate balance between Earth and climate, and how swiftly even the oldest landscapes can be undone. Scientists measure the change, drilling, mapping, recording, tracking every fracture, every melt line. Numbers reveal the truth, but no data can convey the emotion of standing here, feeling the world grow warmer beneath your feet. And yet, amid loss, there is still awe. The glacier still moves, still breathes, still nourishes life that depends on its flow. It whispers of resilience, of endurance, but also of urgency. A call to act before the silence deepens beyond recovery. For adventurers, explorers, and storytellers, the retreating ice is both a warning and a testament. We document, we marvel, we grieve. Not just for what is lost, but for what remains. Because even in its decline, the glacier teaches us humility, reminding us that beauty and fragility often share the same face. The Vanishing Blue is not an ending, but a story unfolding. A story written in meltwater and memory. And as we move forward, leaving only faint traces on the ice, we carry with us a truth impossible to ignore. That this frozen world is changing, and that our place within it is part of that change.
Even in the face of change, Alaska's glaciers and landscapes endure. Where ice retreats, life begins anew, fragile, persistent, and unyielding. The valleys once carved by relentless glaciers are now blanketed in moss, wildflowers, and young shrubs. Salmon return to the rivers, bears patrol the banks, and birds nest in cliffs once buried beneath ice. It is a quiet testament to nature's ability to heal and adapt. Glaciers may shrink, storms may rage, and humans may alter the climate, yet life finds a way. The resilience of this frozen wilderness is profound, an enduring rhythm that continues long after a single season, a single winter, or even a single human life. Scientists track this resilience, studying how ecosystems adjust to glacial retreat. New lakes form, providing habitat for fish and birds. Sediments once locked in ice nourish the soil, encouraging the growth of vegetation. And slowly, life returns to places once thought barren. Standing on the edge of a recovering glacier, it's impossible not to feel awe. The landscape is not static. It breathes, it shifts, it regenerates. Every ice ridge, every frozen river, every hidden valley tells a story of adaptation and survival. The echoes of eternity are everywhere, and it's comes to matches until really wear luck. The echoes of eternity are everywhere. In the blue of the ice, the glint of a river, the flutter of a bird's wings. Even as glaciers fade, their influence persists, shaping the land and life around them. And for the explorers who venture here, this resilience is both a lesson and an inspiration. It teaches patience, humility, and reverence for the forces that shape our world. We witness not just the majesty of glaciers, but the quiet persistence of life that refuses to be silenced. In the end, Alaska's glaciers are more than ice. They are storytellers, sculptors, and keepers of history. Their echoes ripple through time, reminding us that nature, in its infinite wisdom, is capable of both great power and profound renewal. And as the sun sets over the frozen horizon, we pause to honor this resilience, the eternal rhythm of life, ice, and stone, a story that continues even in the face of change.
As our journey through Alaska's hidden glaciers comes to an end, we stand at the edge of a world that is both timeless and fragile. The ice stretches like a frozen ocean, its blue depths holding centuries of stories, storms, and secrets. The mountains rise in silent vigil, their peaks catching the last golden rays of sunlight. And as the day fades, we feel the quiet pulse of the land beneath us, the rhythm of glaciers, rivers, and life enduring against all odds. Though glaciers retreat and storms rage, there is hope. Scientists, explorers, and communities are working to understand, protect, and preserve these frozen giants. Every study, every observation, every story shared brings awareness, a promise that future generations may still witness this awe-inspiring wilderness. And yet, hope is not just in science. It is in the resilience of the land, in the quiet return of life to valleys once buried in ice, in the laughter of children learning to navigate the snow, and in the adventurous spirit that drives us to explore and cherish the natural world.
Glaciers are more than frozen rivers. They are mirrors of our planet's past, teachers of patience, and reminders of nature's extraordinary power. They show us the beauty of endurance and the consequences of change. They invite us to witness, to learn, and to act. As the last light of the Arctic sun touches the ice, we understand that our journey is not just about adventure. It is about connection to Earth, to its history, and to the future we share. Every glacier, every crevasse, every frozen river is part of a story that has been unfolding for thousands of years and will continue long after we are gone. So we leave the glaciers with reverence, carrying with us the memories of their silent power, their hidden worlds, and the hope that the frozen heart of Alaska will endure. For those who seek adventure, for those who chase knowledge, and for anyone who stands in awe of nature's grandeur, Alaska's hidden glaciers remain a beacon, a testament to resilience, and a reminder that even at the edge of the frozen world, there is beauty, wonder, and hope beyond the horizon.